Robomate Plus, India's largest curriculum-based study app. Download the app now.
Hello students, welcome to this final guidance lecture of ICSE Maths grade 9th. Now this guidance lecture is made up of 3 parts. In the first part we are going to see modules 1, 2, 3, and in these 3 modules we are going to understand something very important. We are going to see the section wise weightage, or you can say the chapter wise weightage of different chapters. We are also going to see the important type of questions which may appear in your board paper from all the chapters. So that is what we will be seeing in part 1, which is made up of first 3 modules. Moving further, modules 4 and 5 are again very important modules. Here we are going to see the paper pattern, what is going to be the pattern of your board paper. We're going to see time management. How will you manage your time when you are writing board exam for 2.5 hours? And finally, we are going to see the finer points of presentation which you should keep in your mind while writing your board paper. And finally, we have the last part of this guidance lecture, module number 6, where at the last moment, what are the different sums that you should practice? Which modules of R plus you should go through for your final preparation of board exam. And when you have walked this path, you will be finally ready for your board exams. So let us begin with the first part of guidance lecture, that is, let us see the section wise weightage. Now the first section that I have created in your syllabus is that of commercial mathematics, and there are 2 topics in this: compound interest with formula and compound interest without formula. You can expect around 2 questions, one from each topic, for 7 marks. So 7 marks is the weightage of the 2 chapters of compound interest. Now what are the different type of important questions which may come in your board paper? So you may get one such question. If you observe this question, principal is given, period is also given, and 3 different rates for 3 different years are given. So this is a question based on different rates. And as you can understand, you can easily solve this sum using formula. Now in board paper, mostly in compound interest, they won't mention the method by which you have to solve the sum. So you can use both the methods. You can use the method without formula, or you can use the method with formula. Definitely this particular sum is going to be very easy. With formula, you can expect it for 3 marks. Let's see the next question. Now if you observe this question, if you observe the 3 sub questions, they are saying find the rate of interest from the values which are given for the first year. Then you have to also find the amount which will be due at the end of the second year. Finally, you have to find out the interest which will be accrued in this account in the third year. It means definitely to get the answers to these 3 sub questions, you will have to use method without formula. So here, without saying, it goes that you will have to use the method without formula. You can expect this question for 3 marks, and it is present in module number 7 in R plus Robomate Plus. Let's see the next question. If you observe this question, it is based on the concept of difference between compound interest and simple interest. This is another very important type that you can expect in your exam, and you could get this question for 4 marks. Let's see the next question. If you observe this, there are 2 concepts, there are 2 applications of compound interest which you have studied in your syllabus, and they are growth and depreciation. So this is a question on depreciation. You can expect it for 4 marks. Now remember, in the concept of growth and depreciation, you may either have to find value which is at the beginning of the given period, or you may have to find out the value which is at the end of the given period. So you can expect one such question for 4 marks. These are the different questions which you could expect from compound interest topic. Now let's move further. The next section that I have created in your syllabus is algebra. And these are the chapters which include in this particular section. We have rational and irrational, we have expansion, we have factorization, we have simultaneous linear equations in 2 variables, we have indices, and finally we have logarithms. You can expect around 9 questions from this whole section, weighing around 29 marks. Let us see what are the important type of questions from all these chapters. From the first chapter, that is rational and irrational, you will get one question for 3 marks, and most probably this will be the question based on the concept of rationalizing the denominator. So in this particular module 21, you can see these 2 questions. Here you have to find the values of a and b, and you can get this for 3 marks. Let's see the next type of question. Again, here values of x and y are given to you. You have to find the values of x square, y square. You have to find the values of these expressions, for which again you have to do rationalizing the denominator. So you could get this question for 3 marks. It is present in module number 22. Moving further, if you see this question, you have the value of x as 5 minus 2 root 6. You have to find the value of x square plus 1 upon x square. Now to get the value of x square plus 1 upon x square, first you need to find the value of x plus 1 upon x. That is where again you will have to do rationalizing the denominator. Moving further, the next chapter is expansion, and you could get one question from this chapter for 3 marks. Now you have studied square formulae and cube formulae in this particular chapter. This question, the first sample here, is based on a relationship between a plus b the whole square and a minus b the whole square. So to solve this particular sum, there is a formula which includes a plus b the whole square as well as a minus b the whole square. You should be thorough with that formula, and then you will be able to do this particular sum. You can expect this question for 3 marks. One more question again, where you have to use the relationship between a minus b, a plus b. Both these questions are there in module number 4. Moving further, you could also get a sum based on x plus y, x minus y, and x square minus y square. Further, you also have to learn very well the formulae of a minus 1 upon a and a plus 1 upon a. Just as you have relationship between a plus b the whole square and a minus b the whole square, same way you have the relationship between a minus 1 upon a the whole square and a plus 1 upon a the whole square. So those relations are very important in this particular chapter. Let us see some more examples. Now here, from this given information, first you have to find the value of x minus 1 upon x, and then you will get the value of x square minus 1 upon x square. Let's see the next sample. Here you have to use the formula of 3x plus 4y the whole square to get the value of this particular expression. You can expect it for 3 marks. You could also get a word problem based on the square formulae. So both these sums you can find in module number 9 in RoboMate Plus. Let's move further. Again, this is a question based on a minus 1 upon a plus 1 upon a, and this time you also have to find a cube minus 1 upon a cube. It means this sum is a combination of square formulae and cube formulae, and I believe you can definitely get one such sum where square and cube, both the formulas will be tested in a single question. Let's move further. Here you have one more question where a square plus 1 upon a square is given, and you have to find a cube plus 1 upon a cube. You have to find a plus 1 upon a. Let's move further. You could get one more sum where you have to find the value of a raised to 4 plus 1 upon a raised to 4. So you have to practice well how to find the answer to such a question. Further, you can get a question on the formula of a plus b plus c the whole square. There are 2 sums in module number 29, both based on the formula of a plus b plus c the whole square. Please practice these sums well. Moving further, this is a miscellaneous type of question based on the square formulae from this particular chapter. You may get one such question from this chapter as well. Moving further, the next chapter is factorization, and you know there are various methods that you have learnt in the chapter of factorization, out of which splitting the middle term is one of the most important methods which you should know very well. So you can expect a 3-mark question of this type. You would be getting around 2 questions from factorization, one of 3 marks and one more of 4 marks. Moving further, if you see this expression, if you open up the bracket, again you will get a trinomial which can be factorized by splitting the middle term. Moving further, here if you see this expression, there are 5 terms. First 3 terms you can solve, you can factorize by splitting the middle term. Last two terms, if you observe, you can take a common. So there are two groups formed here. In the first group, you have to do splitting the middle term. In the second group, you have to take out common. Let's move further. If you see this expression, if you substitute 3x minus 2y as a, you will get a trinomial which can be factorized by splitting the middle term. But remember, at the end, in all such sums, you have to resubstitute 3x minus 2y. Let's move further. This is another sum based on splitting the middle term. Now, if you observe these two terms, if you take common out here, you will get 2a plus b, and then 2a plus b can be substituted to get a simple expression which can be solved by splitting the middle term. Again, you have one more expression here, and if you observe here, there are two substitutions that you have to do here. 2a minus 3 has to be substituted as, let us say, x, and a minus 1 has to be substituted as, let us say, y. And then you get a trinomial which can be factorized by splitting the middle term. So, moving further, if you open up the brackets here, you will get square minus square. So, this is a sum based on square minus square formula. Now, if you see this expression, there are four terms here. First two terms you can factorize by square minus square. And there will be two brackets in the first two terms. One of the brackets is going to be 2a minus 7b, which you can further take common. Let's move further. This is another sample based on square minus square formula. Moving further, if you see this next question, there are 6 terms here in this particular question, out of which if you gather a square plus b square plus 2ab in the first part, that will give you a perfect square trinomial, which will become a bracket the whole square. And if you gather the terms c square, d square and 2cd in the second part, you will get another perfect square trinomial. So this is a question based on the concept of perfect square trinomial minus perfect square trinomial. Such questions are very important and you can expect them for 4 marks. Here is one more question which is based on two perfect square trinomials. You have to identify the terms, the 3 terms which will make the first perfect square trinomial and the remaining 3 terms which will make the second perfect square trinomial. That is very important job that you have to do in these sums. Let us see one more question. If you open up the brackets here, you will be able to create 2 perfect square trinomials. If you see this particular question, the first term is x raised to 4, which is a square term, and the last term is 1, which is a square term. Along with these two, you have to adjust the middle term, that is x square, in such a way that you get a perfect square trinomial. Another very important question where the middle term has to be adjusted. You can expect this question for 4 marks. Moving further, if you see this trinomial, definitely you can solve it by splitting the middle term. But before you start the process of splitting the middle term, you have to replace a cube by x. If you replace a cube by x, the middle term will become minus 7x and the first term will become x square. So you will have x square here, you will have minus 7x, minus 8. Then you can easily solve it by splitting the middle term. And at the end, you have to resubstitute a cube. When you resubstitute a cube, cube minus cube formulae become applicable in the last stage of this sum. Very important question. Now, the next chapter that we're going to discuss is simultaneous linear equations. You can expect around 2 questions from this chapter, one of 3 marks, which will be a numerical question, and another one of 4 marks, probably a word problem. Now here in the numerical question, if you remember from the chapter, you have studied different methods. One of the methods that you have studied is substitution method. They may mention the method in board exam, so you have to be thorough with all the different methods which are given in your book. So this is a question based on substitution method, a numerical question for 3 marks. Let us see this next question, which is based on equating the coefficients expected for 3 marks. Or you could get a numerical question on equating the coefficients, but this is a very special question where you follow a very special method which we call as A ASA method. So this is the sum based on ASA method. Let us move further. You can expect this numerical question for 4 marks, and it is based on substitution of 3x plus 4y and substitution of 3x minus 2y. So it is based on substitution method. Moving further, they may give you a 4-mark question based on cross multiplication method. Further, you may get a word problem on numbers, or word problem on numerator denominator for 3 marks. You can find these two sums in module number 21. Moving further, what are the other different type of word problems which are important? So you could get a word problem on 2-digit numbers for 4 marks, or you could get a word problem on the concept of ages for 4 marks, and you can find these two sums in module number 26. Further, you can get a sum on various other concepts, like this is a particular question based on income and expenditure of 2 persons. The next question here is based on the concept of work. Again, very important concept in this chapter, which you should practice well. You can get a word problem on the concept of work for 4 marks. Moving further, this is a sum based on tickets of a circus show. So you could get one such offbeat question as well. Moving further, you can have questions based on speed, distance and time. This is a sum based on the concept of upstream and downstream. Very important concept for your board exam. Moving further, the next chapter is indices, and from indices you can expect one question of 3 marks. Now either they will give you an expression and they will say simplify the given expression, or they will give you an equation where the variable x is in the index position and you have to solve that equation to get the value of x. So first let us see the questions where we have to simplify the given expression. So this is the first sample here. To simplify such expressions, you should be able to solve fractional indices, you should be able to solve negative indices, you should be able to solve various roots, and you should know the meaning of 0 in the index position. This is another sample where you have to use all these concepts. You may get such a question for 3 marks. Now, this is the third one where you have 7 raised to 0. So as I said, you should know the meaning of 0 in the index position. This is another question where you have to solve 4th root. So you should know very well how to convert roots into powers or indices. Moving further, if you see this particular expression, there are numbers like 27, 9, 27 in the denominator, which can all be expressed with a common base, that is 3. So you could get an expression where there are different numbers, but all those different numbers can be converted into a single base. So one such question you can expect in your exam. If you see this particular expression, here you have to solve negative indices in the denominator. Further, this is the sample of equations where x is in the exponential position. So you can expect one such equation in your paper for 3 marks. This is another sample of an equation where you have to find the value of x. Moving further, this is another sample where again x is in the exponential position. Finally, you have one more question here where again x is in the exponential position. Moving further, the next chapter and the last chapter in algebra is logarithms. From this you can expect around 2 questions of 3 marks each. So the total weightage of this chapter is 6 marks, an important chapter. If you see this question, you have to split log 36 in terms of log 2 and log 3. It means you should know the process of having a single log and splitting it into multiple logs using various laws that you have studied in this particular chapter. Now, if you see this next question, here there are 3 logs. Your first job is to combine them into a single log. So both the process you should know very well, whether splitting a given log into multiple logs or combining multiple logs to form a single log. Both these processes should be known by you very thoroughly. So here you have to combine all these into a single log, and that single log will further break into multiple logs in terms of log 2 and log 3. Moving further, this is another question where again log 1.2 has to be expressed in terms of log 2 and log 3. It means you have to do splitting of a single log. Now here the question says express as a single logarithm. So what you have to do is combine all the given logs into a single log, and here you should know very well how to convert this number 1 in logarithmic form. Moving further, you could get an equation where logs are involved and they will ask you to solve such an equation, which we call as logarithmic equation. So you should have enough practice of how to solve a logarithmic equation. These are the various type of important questions from algebra section. In the next module, we will see the section-wise weightage of other chapters.
Thank you for watching this video lecture. To watch more such interesting videos, attempt tests, and to get instant analysis, download the RoboBait Plus app now.